Okay, we're going to do the next part of the alphabet now. There are 24 letters in the alphabet total. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the line for the next part, and then make your dotted line. So we got alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu. The next letter is xi. Everybody say xi. So it's like an X. It's one of the harder letters to make. It's a tall letter. Starts with a little curl at the top. Then you come to the middle, and then you want to make it to where it curls a little bit below the line. And I don't know really how to describe this in English, but it's going to take you some practice. Just fill up a whole line of notebook paper with a C. It'll take you some practice to work on that. The capital letter is an X, comes into English as an X. So it's Xi. Everybody say Xi, like an X. The next letter is Omicron, and it looks just like an O, so easy to make. There is a lot of debate about how to pronounce this letter. I say a lot of debate. I pronounce it as a short O, Omicron. There's going to be a long O at the end of the alphabet, omega. So you can even see O, micron. Mikros means small in Greek, so the small O, Omicron. Omega, the word mega in Greek means big, so that's the long O. The capital letter looks like an O, and it comes into English as an O. In some Greek classes, they pronounce it A. So, for example, the Greek word logos, I pronounce this logos. In some Greek classes, they will pronounce it logos. Now, if you hear somebody pronounce it like this, a preacher or another teacher, do not correct them because it's not exactly wrong. It's better the way I do it, but it's not wrong to pronounce it logos, and you'll hear a lot of people say logos. So there's debate among Greek teachers the best way. A lot of times classical Greek teachers will say logos, and Koine Greek, which is biblical Greek, will say logos. But in this class, we're going to say logos. This is one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I get to make it the way I want it, and I want us to say logos. So it's a small O. So it's a little bit shorter. You're not going to notice it in pronunciation, but technically it's a little bit shorter O sound than the omega. So the omega is going to be like ocean, and this is the O like in the word note in English. Shorter, a little bit shorter. Again, that distinction is not made, but we pronounce it as O, Omicron, so like logos. This is different than in a lot of the textbooks. So Xi, Omicron. So we got alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron. The next letter is P. You may be familiar with this from outside of Greek class. It's pronounced pi outside of Greek class, but in Greek we pronounce it P because the iota is iota, not iota. So it's a short letter. It's not a tall letter. The capital looks just like the lowercase. Comes into English as a P. Xi, Omicron, P. The next letter is Rho. It's like an R sound. It starts below the line, comes up to the midpoint, and then you make a loop. So in English, this looks like a P, but in Greek, it's the R. And this is going to be a confusing thing as you work with Greek. You will start seeing that letter as a P, or in English you'll see it as an R when it's really a P. It gets confusing. So this is Rho, comes into English transliterated as an R. Omicron, P, Rho. The next letter is sigma. There are two ways to make a sigma. The first way I'm going to show you is called an internal sigma. So you start, go to the left, and then go across. Do not make a circle and then just put a line, because that doesn't look classy. Again, you want to not lift your pen from the paper is the key in making these letters look nice and neat. So it'll take some practice. So just kind of make a loop and then go across. Don't do a circle with a line. It looks really sloppy as you get going. The capital looks like this. You will see this letter used a lot outside of Greek class. Unfortunately, outside of Greek class, it's often used as an E, and that's so wrong. I do give you permission to correct anybody who does that. We have a week here on campus called Greek Week, and they make the E's in Greek look like sigma. They use capital sigmas because they think it looks Greek, but that really says grisk, whisk, not Greek Week. So correct anybody who uses that as an E. That is an S, a sigma. Now that's what we call an internal sigma if it's inside of a letter. But if it's the last word in a letter, it looks more like an English S, except it comes a little bit below the line. So you can see here in logos, that is a final, what we call a final sigma. So you got internal sigma and final sigma. The next letter is tau. Tau is a short letter. So it's not a tall letter like in English. The capital looks like a T, comes in as a T. So P, rho, sigma, tau. The next letter is upsilon. Everybody say upsilon. Upsilon. A lot of books will say it's pronounced like a German umlaut, U, which helps if you know German, but if you don't know German, it doesn't help. Think of it maybe as the English U in the word universal. It's more like a oo. You kind of start upsilon. So it looks like an English U, but it doesn't have a little leg at the end. It's just a simple curvy line. The capital looks like a Y in English. And it is transliterated sometimes as a U, and sometimes it can come in as a Y. So sigma, tau, upsilon. We're almost there. The next letter is phi. So you make what's going to be a circle, but you stop before you get all the way through, and then you come down below the line. It's a short letter that comes below the line. You do not want to make a circle and then draw a line through it. Again, that's not classy. We're going to keep it classy in this Greek class. So that's a phi. The capital, you make an I, and then you can put your circle, transliterated as a PH. So sigma, tau, upsilon, phi. Got a few letters left. The next letter is chi. You make a slanted line, and then the other line technically goes below the line. So this looks like an English X, but it is a chi. It's pronounced like a CH. Comes into transliteration as a CH. Looks like a capital X in English. But it's a CH. It's not an X. Remember, our X is C right here. Chi is like a CH sound. So phi, chi. The next letter is psi. It's like a PS sound. Psi. So practice saying that. You make what looks like a U and then put a line through it. And that's psi. It's like a PS in lips. The capital is a little fancy, a lot of extra doodads on there. Comes into English as a PS. So for example, you have the Greek word PS, upsilon. There's your chi, and this is an eta. This is the word suke, which is soul in Greek. We get transliterated into English, it would be PS, and then a Y, and then a CH. So that's where we get our English word psychology. So the upsilon comes in as a Y, the chi as a CH, psych or suke in Greek, from the Greek word for soul. Upsilon, phi, chi, psi, and then our last letter is omega. Kind of looks like a W. It's a small letter. It's rounded. It doesn't do like two V's like a double W does in English. The capital you may be familiar with looks like that. And that is our long O or big O, omega. So we just got to practice writing out the alphabet, practice pronouncing it. I'll go through here and pronounce them all as we conclude. You do need to know them in order, so you can look up words in a dictionary. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega, Greek alphabet.